Okay, in a few minutes I'm going to show you how I import images, but first I want to explain how I set up my Lightroom catalogs. I create a new catalog every year. Now some years I've shot a lot of images, this year not so much, but in years when I've shot 14 and 15,000 images, finding images and getting Lightroom to perform at its best requires a new catalog, because when you get over 30,000 images in a catalog, things slow down a little bit. So here's how my catalog is set up. I store all of my 2017 images in a folder that I created when I created the catalog called 2017 Images. And I have a folder for each month of the year. Instead of putting January 2017, I put 01-2017 because the computer sorts alphanumerically. If I put January, April, and August would appear at the top, and January would be down. So here they're in absolute pecking order by month. And when I open up the folder for the month, I have subfolders for each photo shoot. And I create a subfolder even if I've only shot 5 or 6 images on a card. It's much easier to sort in a small folder and go ahead and create a new folder for every photo shoot. With the size of memory cards these days, it's easy to store several hundred, maybe even 1,000 or more photos on a card, depending on the size of the images you shoot. So I create a new folder each and every time I go ahead and I go on a photo shoot. So it's June 1st, 2017. So I need to create a new folder for June 2017. So to do this, I go to my root folder, which is the top folder in the catalog. I will right-click, and I will choose Create Folder inside 2017 Images. Now I'm just going to call this 06_2017. And there it is. No photos in the folder yet. So now I'm going to import a photo shoot. And these photos were taken at Unity Gardens. So now I need to create a folder for the images I shot at Unity Gardens. So I'm going to right-click and choose Create Folder inside 06-2017. And I'm going to call this 06-01-17. That's the date. _ Unity Gardens. That way I know exactly where the images were shot, and I'll choose Create. And now I will choose this folder, Unity Gardens, right-click, and choose Import to this folder. And that brings me in the Import Dialog. Now, you see, I haven't got very many images here. So, what do I do? Well, the first thing I do is I rename the images, because this tells me absolutely nothing about the photo. Under Rename Files, I choose Custom Name Original File Number. And the name I give the images is the same as the name of the folder. Keywords. Very important to add keywords. It only takes a couple of seconds, longer than I'm actually going to be talking about creating keywords. When I create keywords, I create a keyword for the name of the place, the city, the state, the place, and the type of photos. And I'm using these as reference for landscaping, so I'm going to call these landscaping. I'm also going to call it gardening. That way, if I ever get a zillion images in my catalog, which I hope to do by the end of the year, I'll be able to find these easy. One more thing I want to go into is build previews. This is the preview that you see when you click on a thumbnail in Lightroom. You have standard, one-to-one, and minimal, and embedded in sidecar. Embedded in sidecar is if you use something like Adobe Bridge. That way the sidecar carries all the information. But I'm just going to choose standard because standard is going to give you a good preview image. Minimal will be small. It will take up less room on your hard drive, but it will take longer to blow up when you magnify. Standard's the in between. If I went one-to-one, I'd have beautiful previews that would load instantly, but they take up a lot of space. Okay, and another option we have is destination. Now destination, I've already chosen a destination when I started the import, when I created the folder in the library. And to me, that is the easiest way to do it. Now let me just go back up one more step here. Apply during import. Develop settings. You can apply any develop setting you've created, including auto-tone. But guess what? Not every image needs the same processing. And to apply a develop setting on import slows things down. Metadata. If you've created a copyright, which I have here for the year, which I recommend, and I've shown how to do that in another tutorial. So I'm going to apply the metadata with the 2017 copyright information. So I'm going to click import. And now here, images have all been renamed. And if I click and I go inside, it's added my copyright information, which is part of the import process. And I believe I've gone over that in another lesson. Notice the naming preset I chose, even though the start of every file name is the same, the date and the place I shot it, but it's appended by the file number that the camera gave it. So each file is unique. So they're all imported, they're all in a folder, and now they're ready to sort. And I'm also going to get into a little bit of file management in the next lesson, because if I look at these and I look at my metadata, these were actually shot on May 26th. So they belong in the May folder, and they also need to be renamed. So I'll get into renaming and file management in the next tutorial. And there you have it, importing images into Lightroom and sorting them into a folder.